Mustafa Ali is finally getting his shot to shine as the top. I'm sorry, I can't even pretend anymore. This dude is so gonna get buried.
Wow, you're in the mix with Pro Wrestling Biz.
Mustafa Ali turned heel and is now the frontman for the increasingly discombobulated Retribution, a stable that had no head or tail since the jump and quickly degenerated into a backstage punchline. It's good to see Ali, a talented and capable performer, being featured in such a prominent role. But for everybody getting excited about a fresh face getting a new lease on life in WWE, remember what show you're watching and pump the brakes immediately. You think for 1 second that when Retribution made its clusterfuck of a debut back in August, the disorganized WWE was planning on having Mustafa Ali be the mastermind behind all this? Hell no! This angle has been booked on the fly since day one. They didn't even know who Retribution's members were gonna be, let alone its leader. Hell, I'm willing to bet that Ali became the leader because he just so happened to be in Vince McMahon's line of eyesight when WWE finally decided to pull the trigger on a reveal. In fact, back in August, around the time when this whole thing started, Ali wasn't waiting in the wings getting ready for his shot. He was complaining about not being used and having to work main event. Remember, this is the senile era of WWE, where Vince McMahon burned out years ago, but he has so much power nobody can tell him nothing. So a lot of angles are dropped with no explanation. The few that aren't don't make any sense. Continuity is dead, and long-term storytelling is a thing of the past. If anybody should know about how bad WWE is at sticking to a storyline with a young up-and-comer, it's Ali, who was heavily rumored to be the hacker before WWE canceled that angle like it was the Big Show show. Mustafa Ali ain't having no breakout party. WWE is not a young person's company. Everything from its audience to its media to its ruler and even some of its top stars are middle-aged. This is an industry-wide problem, by the way, as this week's episode of AEW Dynamite was built around the 30-year anniversary of Chris Jericho. As a minority under the age of 40 and not making his name in the Attitude Era, Mustafa will be Mufasa. I'm telling you right now, the man doesn't have a chance with this angle. Since his debut, nothing about the way that Ali has been booked suggests WWE is the least bit interested in making him into a top star. Hell, WWE even screws up the young stars who they are excited about, like Keith Lee, who loses every week by disqualification, and Matt Riddle, who's already been beaten clean multiple times on WWE programming as part of its disaster of a 50-50 booking formula. Murphy is technically getting a push, but even in his finest hour, he got the shit beaten out of him by Seth Rollins, and he needed a 19-year-old girl to come to his defense. Yeah, he'll be stone cold in no time. Look at all the ready-made stars that WWE has fumbled in NXT. Like Bayley, who was such a natural babyface that she had to literally turn heel 4 times for it to finally start to stick. And Sami Zayn, whose gimmick as a top star and a world champion in NXT was being the underdog of the underground. Unfortunately, in WWE, they ran him so far under the ground as a babyface that he had no choice but to try and make do as a heel. Johnny Gargano arguably had the best year of wrestling in the history of WWE in 2018. Then he messed around and outdid himself in 2019. Yet WWE couldn't even figure out what to do with him on the main roster. Even Otis seems like he's on the verge of coughing up the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna turn this lovable face into a villain too! Look at Shinsuke Nakamura, and Andrade, and Humberto Carrillo, and Aleister Black, and Apollo Crews, and Ricochet, and Angel Garza, and the ghost of EC3. Then tell me you have any type of faith that the worldwide leader in sabotaging its own future is gonna elevate Mustafa Ali to the level of a Randy Orton. Fuck out of here! I really hope that I'm wrong, but the sad reality is this. WWE probably settled on Mustafa Ali because they realized this Retribution angle is death, and the end is probably near. These goons went from threatening the entire roster to being Raw exclusive to now being in a mid-card feud with the Hurt Business. Shout out to them, but everybody who's been booked opposite the Hurt Business, and by everybody I mean every underrated black wrestler, is stuck in a Hotel California of a feud with the same matches over and over every week with a defined ceiling in the middle of the card. On the 10-year anniversary of WWE dropping the ball with the Nexus, I fully expect T-Bar, Slapjack, Mace, and Mustafa Ali's Retribution to be dead and gone after losing at Survivor Series 2020, and an otherwise talented Mustafa Ali to be right back where he started, if not worse. Bye.